I learned to use the video section of this thingy. My first book. My second book. This is a story from the second book. I call it the Anne story. The title of it is A Glow That Goes Cold. It's 60 sentences with 59 Annes in there. I'm being illuminated by a beautiful photograph by Karloff. A glow that goes cold. I sharpened 4 pencils, and they were never used pencils, and I began cranking, and the sharpener destroyed the shoulders of the pencils and ground them to a perfect point. And they were good pencils, and none of the points pulled out. And I was a bit disappointed because I wanted to grind some more. And I thought about being wasteful and grinding one down to the perfect writing length. And I thought about grinding one down to the perfect rocket ship length. And I began to write some great epic lie about how great the old days were before the war. And I got distracted, and the young ones came calling, and we had a fire and food, and they brought bitter beer. And I gave them my best water, and we had tea, and we watched the old... We watched the cold colors squeeze the warm down to the ring of Venus, and the ring breaks in the east, and the warm crescent becomes a glow that goes cold, and we were warm, and they wanted me to talk, and I didn't like to talk at all anymore, but I liked to talk to them, and I told them everything they wanted to know, and I didn't like to lie anymore, and I didn't like to lie even when the truth made me look like a fool, and they knew me better than I knew myself, and they knew what I knew, and that's why they wanted me to talk, and even when I confess my sin, I won't lie to them, and if I cry for forgiveness, I cry to mystery, and mystery forgives, because mystery is made of black triangles, and mystery is something to believe in and talk about. And I like to talk to them, and I don't have to talk to them for long because my voice puts them to sleep. And tonight I told them about candy bars, going into great detail about how Butterfingers were the best or the worst depending on freshness, and how I loved Zero bars, and what they were like frozen, and from the refrigerator, and at room temperature, and warm out of a motorcycle saddlebag. And that got me talking about motorcycles, going into great detail about the mini motorcycle museum I once had in my garage. And I didn't have to talk for long because the young ones were all asleep. And I twisted and crawled away from them and built up the fire and checked the traps and had a bitter beer and a smoke. And I watched the smoke rise and expand, and the spine of the galaxy made me smile my black triangle mystery smile. And I crawled and twisted back between them. And I talked to them even though they were asleep. And I told them how lucky they were and that they were adventurers. And I told them I liked to talk to them and have a fire and food and tell them about how things were. And I told them it was better now. And I told them even though they were asleep and even though they knew already that I wouldn't be the old wise man of the tribe much longer. That's a good one.